Good morning. I would like to call the Cuyahoga County Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee meeting for Wednesday, July 10th, 2024 to order. I'm going to chair the meeting in Chairman Burns' absence, and the clerk will please call the roll.
Just as a reminder to all who are in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Mr. Byrne. Mr. Byrne is absent. Mr. Miller.
Here.
Conwell.
Present.
Mr. Sweeney.
Present.
Ms. Turner. Ms. Turner is absent. There is a quorum.
Thank you very much. Has anybody signed in for public comment?
No, Mr. Chair, no one has signed in.
We have minutes from the meeting on June 26th. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes for June 26, 2024. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. We have 3 legislative items, starting with Resolution 2024-0260.
Resolution number 2024-0260, authorizing a revenue generating agreement with Step Forward in the amount not to exceed $323,190 for lease of space at the William Patrick Day Services Center.
Good morning, committee. John Myers on behalf of Department of Public Works. I'm here today to seek authority to enter into a lease agreement with Step Forward, formerly known as Greater Cleveland Council on Economic Opportunities. This is at the William Patrick Day facility, which is located at 2421 Community College Avenue. This is a building that the county has owned for many, many years, but has been under operational control of the county's Board of Developmental Disabilities. Recently, due to their programmatic changes, have turned back control of this building to the county's use. So we now are standing directly in the position of ownership and control both of the building. Step Forward has operated a high-quality Head Start daycare program here for many years and would like to continue their presence there. This is for approximately 11,000 plus square feet of space. We're asking that we continue the current rent of $14 per square foot for a total of $323,000 plus for the next 2 years. The service is an important one to the community and the neighborhood, and we have representatives here also if you have any questions about the program from Step Forward, and would like to move forward with this lease.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions by my colleagues, Ms. Conwell.
Yes, thank you. Through the chair to Mr. Myers, previously there's been discussions in terms of that the county might want to sell this building. And I see that this lease, and I think I put on the record last time that, you know, any organization needed a good 2 to 3 years in terms of if they needed to move, if they weren't willing to purchase the building. Is this just kind of like an extension till we get to that time span? Or, you know, can you shed any light if that's the county's intention to sell, continue to sell the building?
Mr. Chairman, to Councilwoman Conwell, we do not have an intention to sell. We have an open mind to what is the best use for this particular facility. It's a one-story, approximately 60,000 square foot building in a central location. So, and it's, but we're also, as you know, from other projects, we're have come to you before. We're in the midst of evaluating all of our space needs, as we always are, trying to right-size our space needs to match our needs. So we'll continue to look at this, but we're not starting off immediately wanting to sell. It's not a directive we're under, but anything is open to what makes sense for the county's space needs.
Okay, in terms of that, what does the contract language state? Even though you're in a lease agreement for 2 years, is that a 30-day out window? What does that look like?
Well, we wouldn't do that. I believe there is an out window that this is essentially this. We essentially just took the lease Board of Developmental Disabilities had and kept the same terms and conditions to keep this moving. So I believe there are some out clauses, but obviously we, Step Forward provides a critical mission to our county, and they consider them a partner of the county. So we're going to work with them to, we're not going to put them in that position. And we'll be working, as we were just talking with some of the representatives. Step Forward is also a tenant in 1801, where we currently are going to be moving. So they'll be seeing more of us than they want, perhaps. So we have a good working relationship with them. So we'll meet their needs.
Okay, can you send me the contract so I can read the out clause?
Most definitely.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councilman Sweeney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, acting. Hello, Mr. Myers, how are you today?
Good morning, sir.
Just on the contract, is it, 2 years is not much, right? Is there a 2 years plus a 2 year plus a 2 year, or?
No, it's a straight 2-year contract, which I think has been their relationship historically with BDD, Board of Developmental Disability. So we pretty much just, to keep things simple as we took over this new role, kept everything pretty much the same. And we're open to, as I said, I'd prefer also for us to get a better sense of what our use of the building is going to be before we lock it down.
Thank you, and because it's a new tenant and their extraordinary work product is evident. If something breaks, we fix it? Is it the triple net?
Yes, we're in complete control of the building. As far as mechanicals,
we're the landlords, they're the tenant, and
Yes.
they pay their rent, and we take care of everything.
Correct. We do, to be further clarified, we have also held over SAW Solutions at Work, used to be Sheltered Adult Workshop, which used to be under BDD, but now is a separate agency. They actually have the cleaning contract, so we have a short-term contract with them because they were in place. So instead of changing everything all at once, it's once again one of those things we'll be evaluating to how to approach that issue. So we do have other support in the building.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I always love hearing your comments, but on occasion, I like a little flavor. So Front Steps is, or Step Forward, Front Steps
Yeah.
another one, is something that we know about, but the vast viewing audiences don't know much about them. So if they would come up and share what they do.
Yeah, no,
and-
we asked them to be here present in case you and for your purposes to have any questions. I'd be happy to call George Phillips and Doug Bennett are both here from Step Forward, and they can talk to you about what they've been doing in the building, assuming the chairman is good with that.
We'll get to that in just a minute. I was planning to do that
You're
as
taking
well.
my thunder away. Must be nice to be a chairman. And I just want, and when they come up, I won't mind knowing their perspective and their agreement with comments that Mr. Myers made in regards to the relationship that's going to be established. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Myers.
Thank you.
So, to Mr. Myers, my question is, you said the total building is about 60,000 square feet, and
Yes.
and the Step Forward lease is 11,000 square feet. What are we currently doing with the remaining 49,000 square feet?
Well, part of it also, the Board of Developmental Disabilities has kept a small footprint within the building. Their so-called lending library is located currently there, which is accessibility tools and, wheelchairs and other type of things that help kids with physical as well as developmental disabilities. So that'll be a part of it. And that's what we're doing now is analyzing as part of, as I said, as you're aware, we're looking at an overall space usage that we have several agencies that we're going to have to be moving it within the next few months that are likely will be here, but that isn't set in stone yet.
So currently a good amount of vacant space?
The majority of the building, as of this exact moment, is open for our programming.
Okay. Okay, now I would like to call forward the representatives from Step Forward and to ask if you could introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Good morning. I'm George Phillips Olivier. Work now with Step Forward. I'm the Vice President of Operations and would be happy to give you a little bit of background for those of you that don't know much about the organization. We are the community action agency designated for the county. So we have a lot of different programs, but the program that we're talking about today is the Head Start program, and that has been located in the William Pat Day facility for I don't have the exact number, but well over 15 years. Head Start is kind of broken up into two different groups. You have the traditional Head Start program, which serves children 2 to 5, and then Early Head Start, which serves 1 week to the age of 2. So we have the infants and toddlers as well as the traditional Head Start program. We have right now 7 classrooms operating in William Pat Day, and our footprint is expanding because directly across the parking lot next door, CHN has just built a new facility that serves the Tri-C students, and we have 2 additional early Head Start classrooms in that building where the parents that live in the building can come downstairs, drop their children off, and go to classes. So the need is definitely there. I just checked yesterday, we would have every child accounted for and every space filled in both of our buildings if we had more teachers. If you know any teachers that want to work in Head Start, we are definitely looking for them. But the program is robust. It is almost full and definitely in need in that area. As John said, we're working closely with the county. We have for years. We'll also be co-tenants with you at the main headquarters for us at 1801. So we do have a relationship with the county and look forward to expanding and continuing to work with you at this location.
Just real briefly, my name's Doug Bennett. I'm the Vice President of External Affairs for Step Forward. Just to touch upon some of the other programs that we do run as the designated community action agency for Cuyahoga County, we actually have the Home Energy Assistance Program. We also have licensed social workers where we actually do family development and personal development. So we actually work with individuals to get them back up on their feet when needed. We also offer emergency services like rental assistance, food assistance, furniture assistance. And I also wanted to make sure that people knew that we are the largest Head Start in the state of Ohio and the largest community action agency in the state of Ohio. We have approximately 370 employees in Cuyahoga County. And we've also, to the chair, to the councilwoman, we've also obviously been in very lengthy conversations with the councilwoman, Conwell, so thank you for all of your help. And we've also been talking with Cleveland City Councilman Richard Starr about trying to find another location if for some reason or another the county decides to move from this building or decides to sell it, and if the new owners don't necessarily want a Head Start site in that center. Hopefully, we can stay in that building. It serves a lot of residents in that particular ward, and it's very much needed. So we're trying to make sure that we continue to serve the residents of the city of Cleveland and the county. So hopefully down the road, you guys will stay, or whoever buys the building will also want to stay if the county decides to sell it.
Thank you very much. Any questions by my colleagues?
I can just say what a wonderful organization they are, and please give my regards to the boss, because I know she's running I've known her for a long time, and she's with her latest, in other positions that she had, I know her, but this one is perfect for her, and she does a great job. And I was very excited a long time ago to go for her swearing in, and it was pretty cool. So just tell her I said hi.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, do you know how many square feet you have at 1801 Superior?
We are currently occupying the fourth floor, which is 44,000 square feet.
Okay. So I would just put out on the table that there is discussion that in the far future, the county might have interest in trying to have control of the whole building there at 1801 Superior. But of course, any agreement is a two-way process, and we would have to find a solution that works well for you and for us. And the only thing that I would say is just that I'd hope that you'd keep an open mind and continue the good working relationship, and we'll walk this path together and see where it leads.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay.
Want my name added.
Okay, great. Please add the councilwoman's name. Thank you.
And mine as well. Why not?
And mine as well. Okay, so Mr. Myers has told me that that we don't need suspension as long as this legislation is approved on July 30th before we go into summer recess. So I would like to see if there's a motion to move Resolution 2024-0260 to the full council for second reading.
So moved?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. The ayes have it, and the resolution is recommended. And
Thank
it
you.
will go to the council for second reading next Tuesday, and then 2 weeks later, on the 30th, it would be up for final passage.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Myers, can you set up a tour for me for the William Pat Day?
Would be very happy to.
Never been in there.
It's a good building. Thank you.
Resolution 2024-0261.
Resolution number 2024-0261, making an award on requisition number 13412 to Jadco Construction Services in the amount not to exceed $559,490 for restriping and pavement markings in the Cuyahoga County Huntington Park Garage.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, committee members. Matt Reimer, representing the Department of Public Works. This project, as proposed, is at the Huntington Park Garage, located at Huntington Park and the county's courthouse. It consists of 4 levels of concrete parking deck that has approximately just under 1,200 parking spaces as currently designed. As committee members may know, we did a major renovation of this structure in between the years 2015 and 2017. Since that project, the striping and markings throughout the garage have degraded significantly, causing a lot of mass confusion with public and agency users of the parking garage, and people park the way they want to park generally, and not always adhering to the lines that are fading and in conflict with old parking schemes that predated the renovation project that I just mentioned. So this project will restripe the entire garage, all 4 levels. It'll pay particular attention to levels 2 and 3, which are the levels that enter off of Lakeside and West 3rd, not the top deck. That'll just be a restriping. We're going to do a new coating system on those levels to make sure that that the parking lines don't reflect through, and that the new parking scheme will be efficient for use of the garage. This was a request for proposals. This was our second effort. We had an unsuccessful bid attempt before that in 2023 with no respondents. We only received one respondent to this. Jadco Construction Services out of North Royalton. Always good to get a new contractor interested in doing county work, which they are. They were evaluated as compliant with the diversity goals on this, which had a 25% SBE and a 5% WBE requirement. It should be noted that Jadco themselves are a city FBE, and so we've encouraged them to register with the County Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Department for consideration of the WBE certification in the county as well. As I mentioned, the contract costs reflected in the legislation, $559,490. Approximately $430,000 of that is the levels 2 and 3 recoding and then restriping system. We have an aggressive timetable on this with a contract completion date by December of this year, and we're hoping to get as much done before the football season as possible. Happy to answer any of your questions.
Questions by my colleagues? Pretty straightforward. So, was there an MBE goal on this project?
There was no MBE goal on this. I reviewed the DEI worksheet calculations ahead of preparing for this, and there were no qualified vendors, at least reflected in that worksheet, for this type of service.
And was there an engineer's estimate on this project?
Yes, we performed an internal estimate on this with our own staff, and it dated back to the Turner construction work that we had done some years ago that I mentioned. So it was $291,000. That's on the bid tab. I'm sorry, I can look it up. 241,722. So we were extensively over that with this proposal, but we did reconcile all those estimates with negotiation on the contract total. The big difference between the estimate and the actual contract award that we're bringing for you is that recoding system on levels 2 and 3, which were not part of the original proposal asks.
So could you describe the recoding system? What exactly is that?
It's a traffic coding. So the product is a NeoGuard product. Not sure how else to describe that, but it's not just paint. It's a water treatment coating that will, when properly prepared, protect the concrete, but also protect all the old line systems from coming through. The coating on those levels is subject to wear and tear, and this will replace that coating.
Why was there not an engineer's estimate that reflected the full scope of the project and current prices?
So as I mentioned, we did a request for proposals for the marking systems, and when we got the proposals responded, this was recommended through the proposal process and the site visit process. We evaluated that and accepted those proposals as we did. This wasn't an engineered project because it was just coding systems, but
and
that answers your question, Councilman.
Yeah, I think it does. And was this item included in this year's capital plan?
Short answer is no, Councilman. A point of clarification, this is an item that's reflected in the legislation as being general fund funded, and that's accurate from the budget structure, but this is being paid for by parking revenue. So we have an internal plan that's not part of the budget on how we propose spending the parking revenue for needs of the facility. It is on that internal plan, but that's not something that's reflected in the OBM, in the OBM budget book. So
it's going to be paid for by the general fund, but then reimbursed from parking revenue. Is that correct?
And I don't know if there's any fiscal professionals behind me, but it's my understanding that the parking fund is within the general fund structure, and so it'll be paid for directly from the parking revenue fund that our fiscal administrator controls.
And,
Thank you. Okay. Oh, thanks, Melanie. Here comes Melanie Say.
Good morning, Melanie Say, Public Works. The funding source is actually the HPG revenue, so it is not the general fund.
Hilton.
No, the Huntington
Hunting-
Park Garage.
Hunting-
Yes.
right, okay. And, Mr. Reimer,
Thanks, Melanie. Okay.
do we need passage on second reading suspension on the 16th, or is 3 readings with final passage on the 30th acceptable?
Well, I realize that it's a short 2 weeks. We would request second reading suspension just because we have a short amount of weeks before the Brown season, and then right after that, the end of the calendar year, which this contract goes to. We'd like to make as much progress as possible within the summer months that we have.
Any further questions by my colleagues? Do I have a motion to recommend Resolution 2024-0261 to the full council with recommendation for second reading suspension?
So moved?
Any further discussion? Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. It is so recommended.
Thank you.
Resolution 2024-0262.
Resolution number 2024-0262, making an award on requisition number 14474 to Independence Excavating in the amount not to exceed $10,812,068.09 for the construction of 2.66 miles of shared use path along North Marginal Road Connector from East 9th Street to East 55th Street in the city of Cleveland.
Nicole English with Public Works. So this is an award of a construction contract that we received 5 bids for. The bids ranged from 10.8 million to 13.3. This does have federal money in it from NOACA, so there was a 7% DBE goal set by ODOT. We don't use our local goals for federal projects. The lowest bid came in 5% under the engineer's estimate, which was at $11.4 million. And we are awarding to Independence Excavating. They are fully compliant with the DBE as approved through ODOT. This project is generally funded at 52.6% of federal funding. And the Metro Parks, through the Mandel Foundation, have a grant for $4.7 million of the project, with the remainder between us and the city of Cleveland paying. This is to increase the multimodal capabilities between East 9th Street and East 55th. There is parts of the road that get moved, which is why we have that small portion of road and bridge funding in it. We have to move the curb line in places and rebuild some of that curb lane. There'll be lighting that's included as part of this path. So looking forward to making that connection from downtown to East 55th, which then there is a path to continue out to University Circle. So this is a really important missing connection. Happy to answer any questions.
So this is part of the Lakefront program, is that
Correct.
correct? And could you go through the rundown? It was 52.6% federal, which was how many dollars?
Which is $5,684,048.
Okay, and then the Metro Parks,
Is 43.4% at $4.7 million.
4.7 million.
That's really a grant from Mandel through the Metro Parks.
Uh-huh.
The county's putting in 2.8% of road and bridge funding, which is $298,020.
Mm-hmm.
And then the city of Cleveland is putting in 1.2% at $130,000.
And what's the expected start time and completion time?
So the expected start time is as soon as possible, so we would ask for second reading suspension. We're in the middle of summer, not ideal to start a construction project, but just due to bidding, that's when we had to get it in. So we would ask for as soon as possible. The construction has to stop during the air show, so there will be a stoppage during the fall. Next year, they really will complete most of all the work, and then following up in the spring of '26 would just be seeding, mulch, any kind of grass regrowth that has to be done. So significant work will be done between this fall and next summer, and then the final closeouts would be early '26.
Questions by my colleagues?
Add my name.
Okay.
And we are you'll get a notification, but we are planning to do a groundbreaking on this one because Metro Parks really wants to celebrate, especially with the grant they received. And so it's looking like August 12th, but we'll get it on your calendars, just so you're aware of that.
Okay. I'd like my name added as well, so it's all three of us.
Excellent.
So, not hearing any other questions, I would ask for a motion to recommend this resolution for passage for
So moved.
second reading suspension. Okay. Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay. Okay. We're recommended for approval. And any miscellaneous business?
None.
Okay. There being no further business that holds our attention, we are adjourned. Thanks.